Hey friends, how are y'all doing today? Today I'm going to share with you a cool trick I learned about planting tomatoes and that will make planting tomatoes for us in our shallow raised bed so easy. Now, one thing you want to know about tomatoes is tomatoes are a vining plant. So you trellis them or you stake them to force their vines to grow upwards. If you don't, tomatoes will grow across the ground and just vine wherever they can. Now, that's fantastic in the wild, not so much in the garden, because where tomatoes lay on the ground and their leaves lay on the ground, they're going to get diseases, they're going to rot, and they're not going to be any good. So that's why we train our tomatoes to grow upwards. But you can use that vining ability to your benefit. And I'm going to show you today in this video how you can grow tomatoes in a shallow raised bed or in a container that produces a very strong root system for your tomato plants. Now you may notice my tomato plant looks a little funny. It's a little sideways. I did this on purpose. I seen a video about it somewhere and it makes perfect sense, and I don't know why more of us have not been doing this all along. But when you start your tomatoes, grow them upright. Then about 2 days before you want to plant, 2 to 3 days, turn them on their side. They're going to grow up towards the sun. And what that does is when you plant this in the ground, you can plant that entire root base underground like this, plus this stem right here underground, and all of that is going to grow into root, but it's going to grow into root this way. So not only will you have the depth of the root base, but you'll also have sideways root base, and that is just going to make for a very, very strong plant. It will also allow you to plant your tomato plant in a shallower bed, but have a large root base. So our raised beds right here are only about 6 inches deep. And tomatoes, their roots can go really, really deep. And you want them to go deep because it's going to make your plant stronger, make your root base stronger. It's going to hold up a whole lot of weight. So you want a strong plant. But when you're growing in a shallow raised bed, sometimes that's just not possible. Turning it on its side gives me the chance to plant it this way. The trellis is back here, like this, and that way it can grow a bigger root base, get more nutrients in a shallow bed. How cool is that? Let's get it planted and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So to plant them, let me get my weeds out of here. I'm just going to move my mulch away. Ah, look, there's a worm. Hello, wormy. Y'all see my little worm friend? I have worms all in my garden, which is fantastic. I want him here. I just want him not where I'm about to dig and cut him in half on accident. Ah, there's another one. Okay, go over there. So worms in your garden are good because they're naturally going to eat the stuff that's in your soil and leave you worm castings behind. So don't kick the worms out. Make them your friend. Okay, so now I'm just going to dig some of my dirt away. Right here at the base of my trellis. So since we have short raised beds, I can't dig too deep because I'm going to hit the mulch that I put down there. But I need to dig deep enough. There's another worm. Goodness gracious. I need to dig deep enough to make the plants happy. And y'all, if y'all see worms, just do like I do. Cover them back up with dirt. They can't dry out. And then they'll just, as the sun beats on them, they'll actually crawl back under. You don't want them to dry out though, because that's not good for them. Okay, so now I have my hole right here. All I gotta do is take my tomato plant out of this container. My roots are starting to get a little root bound there, started circling. We're just going to go through and pick off all of the leaves till right past the bend. So this one where it's Can you see that where it started to curve up? We're going to pick this one off as well, and we'll leave all of these up here. So I'm just picking these off at the bottom. Okay, that way all we have is our leaves up top. Everything that is from like here down is going to go under the ground. So this is a way you can plant your tomatoes deeply when you have shallow raised beds. You'll see how it just kind of like sets down. My roots are growing this way instead of just straight down, but I still have a lot underground as well. And so now all I have to do is fill her back in. Put my worm frame back in there. I probably have come across maybe 5 worms already just planting this one tomato plant. So I have high hopes that my raised beds, oh, there's that one. Okay, go back. I have high hopes that my raised beds are full of worms. And y'all, anytime I'm digging outside in the dirt, like digging for raised beds and stuff, if I come across worms, I literally bring them to my raised beds. So that's why that's why you're seeing so many. It's because I encourage them to be here. I put them here, and I hopefully am encouraging them to continue breeding and producing more. Hello, airplane. Sorry about that. And then I cover back with mulch. Now this bottom leaf is touching the ground. If it starts to die off, I will go ahead and clip it. But as the sun beats down on it, the stem right here will continue to straighten up throughout the day. And so I think that'll help pull that one off the ground some. Plants grow towards the sun, and you'll be surprised at how fast your plants will change direction based on where the sun is. Okay, so let's do this again. So all I'm doing is pulling my mulch back, digging my dirt, pulling my tomato plant gently out of its container, loosening up my root ball just gently to encourage it to spread, picking off my bottom leaves all the way past where it's curved at. I usually leave, if y'all notice, I keep leaving this one stem and then my tops. That's about all I leave. And then planting that just like that. Now you can add different amendments to your soil. These raised beds are new. They just got put in this year. So I already amended the soil when I put them together. So they have rabbit poop in here, alfalfa pellets, compost, ashes from the fire, just different things in here to kind of really bring in the nutrition to these raised beds with us just starting out. If you want to see everything that I put in my raised beds, make sure you check out my raised beds on a budget video. Pretty as can be. As it grows up, I will stake it onto my trellis back here. This is just a cattle panel we cut in half. And we will grow it up. Alright friends, so I'm back for another day of gardening. I now have my Amish paste tomatoes, my San Marzano tomatoes, my Beta Lux tomatoes, and my ground cherries all in the ground, and I've done it in this same life hack that I have been showing you in this video. Now it is time for my fifth and final tomato to be planted, and that is my beefsteak tomatoes. Again, I will be following this same life hack that I've been showing y'all. But what makes this tomato even more special is that it will be entered into the Dean Family Acres 2022 Tomato Challenge. So if you are growing tomatoes and you have a YouTube channel or whatever, and you want to enter into this challenge, go over to Dean Family Acres. I will tag him down in the description box below. Check out his tomato challenge video so you can see what it is. We're going to get to it. We're going to get these beefsteak tomatoes planted, and we're going to keep our fingers crossed that they get nice and big and they will win the Dean Family Acres Tomato Challenge. We're going to hope that this is my year, that I can grow a really big tomato, a really big beefsteak tomato, and at least have a chance in the competition for this Dean Family Acres Tomato Challenge. We'll see, but let's get to planting, guys. So I just wanted to show y'all where we're at standing here currently. We are where the back row of beds is. This front row, the very front row, front bed up there, that one right there, has our Amish paste tomatoes in it. That one right there has our San Marzano tomatoes in it. The one next to it has Beta Lux and ground cherries in it. And then this one right here where you can see the red cups is where our beefsteak tomatoes are going. Okay, last and final step is to water them in. This is just my water with my fish fertilizer in it, and that's it. Alright friends, I hope you enjoyed this life hack that I've had to show you, and planting my tomatoes for the Dean Family Acres Tomato Challenge. This is going to be a fun year, and I'm really hoping this life hack will give me the boost up I need to win that tomato challenge. So if you want to see how it turns out, make sure you stay tuned. I will be updating on these tomatoes throughout the garden season, and then I will weigh and measure on camera the tomato when I pick it. So if you want to see if my life hack really does help make bigger, better tomatoes, subscribe, follow along, and I will see you next time. But for now, friends, bye.